Vanessa Cole smiled when she walked into the courtroom. Not the nervous smile people wear when they're afraid of losing something. Not the polite one meant for strangers. This was a victory smile. She wore a cream-colored suit tailored to perfection, her hair smooth, her posture relaxed. She looked like someone who already knew the ending of the story and had come only to watch it play out. Ethan Cole walked in behind her. Alone. No entourage. No visible legal army. No performance. He wore a dark suit that fit well, but didn't beg for attention. No watch worth mentioning. No expression worth reading. If someone had seen them without context, they would have assumed the roles immediately. She was the winner. He was the man about to be divided. Vanessa glanced back once, just long enough to make sure he noticed her smile. He did. He said nothing. The courtroom buzzed softly with whispers. Divorce cases were routine here, but this one had drawn interest. Not because of wealth. Vanessa had made sure of that, but because of the confidence with which she'd spoken to everyone. She had told friends, family, even her lawyer. He's predictable, quiet. He won't fight. And in the months leading up to this day, she'd acted accordingly. She moved money. She made plans. She promised people things that weren't hers yet. Half his assets, she believed, were already hers by right. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Ethan rose slowly, calmly, as if time bent slightly around him. Vanessa barely looked at him now. She didn't need to. The proceedings began. Vanessa's attorney spoke first, smooth, assertive, well-prepared. He framed the marriage as a partnership where Ethan had benefited quietly while Vanessa carried the social weight. She supported him emotionally. She sacrificed opportunities. She believed in him when no one else did. Vanessa nodded at all the right moments. She even laughed once, softly, when her lawyer mentioned Ethan's modest professional footprint. A laugh not meant to be cruel, just dismissive. The judge noticed. Ethan did too. When it was Ethan's turn, the room shifted. Not because he was intimidating, but because he was still. Most people in court try to prove something. Ethan didn't. His attorney stood and spoke briefly, almost clinically. We accept the dissolution of the marriage. We contest the assumption of shared empire. Vanessa raised an eyebrow. Empire? She leaned toward her lawyer, whispering. He smirked back. The judge adjusted his glasses. Before we proceed with asset division, he said, the court will review financial disclosures. Vanessa crossed her legs. This was the moment she'd been waiting for. The paperwork that would formalize what she already considered hers. The clerk handed over the documents. The judge began reading. At first, nothing changed. Then, a pause. A longer pause. The judge looked up. Not at Vanessa. At Ethan. Mr. Cole, the judge said slowly. Can you confirm that these disclosures are accurate? Ethan met his gaze. Yes, Your Honor. Vanessa smiled wider. The judge cleared his throat. For the record, he continued, the court recognizes that the majority of Mr. Cole's net worth is held through private instruments, trusts, and creditor positions rather than conventional salary. Vanessa's smile tightened. That was unexpected, but not alarming. Yet, and that, the judge continued, the marital estate, subject to division, is significantly smaller than initially presented. The room went quiet. Vanessa turned sharply toward her lawyer. He was frowning now. The judge went on. Furthermore, the court notes that Mr. Cole's primary financial holdings were established prior to the marriage and structured in a manner that places them outside spousal claim. Vanessa's laughter came out this time. Too loud, too fast. That can't be right, she said. Before she could stop herself, the judge looked at her. Ms. Cole, he said evenly, this is not a discussion. This is a disclosure. For the first time, Vanessa looked directly at Ethan. Really looked. He was watching her, not with anger, not with triumph. With distance, as if she were already part of his past. Her lawyer leaned in urgently. There must be an error, he whispered. He never disclosed this level of assets. Ethan's attorney finally spoke again. He wasn't required to, she said calmly. They were never marital assets. The judge continued reading. Numbers appeared on the screen. Large ones. Structured ones. Ones that didn't belong to someone who needed half of anything. Vanessa's confidence cracked. Not shattered, just enough to let doubt seep in. She swallowed. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. The judge looked up one final time. For clarity, he said, Mr. Cole's net worth is not subject to division in the manner assumed. The court will proceed accordingly. Vanessa's smile vanished. The room held its breath. And Ethan, still silent, finally shifted in his chair. Not forward, not back, just enough to signal that this was only the beginning. Vanessa spent the first recess pacing the marble hallway like someone trying to outrun a thought. Her heels clicked too fast. Her breathing was shallow. Her phone stayed locked in her hand, unread messages piling up on the screen. This wasn't panic yet. This was denial. She told herself it was a technicality, a temporary misreading, something her lawyer would handle. She had lived her entire adult life believing that systems bent for people who smiled at them confidently enough. Ethan had let her believe that, inside the consultation room, her lawyer spread documents across the table. His hands weren't shaking, but his voice had changed. "Vanessa," he said carefully, "I need you to answer me honestly." She folded her arms. "I've been honest." "No," he said. "You've been confident. That's not the same thing." She stared at him. "What exactly are you saying?" He tapped the papers. "I'm saying your husband isn't wealthy the way we assumed. He doesn't earn money. He positions it." Vanessa scoffed. "That's just wordplay." He shook his head. "No, it's insulation." He explained slowly. Too slowly for her liking. Ethan didn't own companies outright. He financed them. He didn't appear on payrolls. He appeared in footnotes. He wasn't listed as an executive. He was listed as a creditor of last resort. Every major asset she'd mentally divided in half. The apartment, the investment accounts, the lifestyle, was surface level. Below it was a structure designed to survive divorce, lawsuits, even public scandal. Designed by someone who assumed this day might come. Vanessa laughed again. A short, sharp sound. "So what? He hid everything from me." Her lawyer didn't answer immediately. Then, "No," he said. "He didn't hide it. He just never let you near it." Across the building, Ethan sat alone in a quiet side room. His phone buzzed. One message. "We're clear to proceed." He replied with a single word. "Good." He didn't look relieved. He'd never expected a different outcome. Back in the courtroom, proceedings resumed. Vanessa had recovered her posture. Her smile was back, but thinner now. The judge began addressing spousal support. Vanessa leaned forward. This was her territory. Even if she didn't get half, she would still extract something. Monthly, public, permanent. Given the disparity in income, her lawyer began. The judge raised a hand. "Disparity requires dependency," he said calmly. He looked down at the file. "The court finds no evidence that Ms. Cole is financially dependent on Mr. Cole." Vanessa blinked. "That's ridiculous," she said sharply. "I supported him for years." The judge looked up. "You supported his presence," he replied. "Not his livelihood." Silence. Then came the line that broke something inside her. "Spousal support is denied. Not reduced. Denied." Vanessa turned fully toward Ethan now. He met her gaze. For the first time since she'd known him, she couldn't read what he was thinking. And that terrified her. By the end of the day, Vanessa's story had already begun to collapse. Not publicly, yet, but in the places that mattered. Her phone rang as she stepped outside. Her sister. "Vanessa," she said quickly, "what's going on?" Vanessa exhaled sharply. "What do you mean?" "I mean, people are asking questions." The investor group pulled out of the skincare brand. Vanessa stopped walking. "They can't do that." "They already did. Within hours." A partnership dissolved. A credit line paused. A launch event quietly canceled. Each email was polite. Each explanation vague. Market concerns. Reputational alignment. Strategic reevaluation. Vanessa recognized the pattern too late. These weren't reactions. They were instructions. She confronted Ethan that evening. Not at home. At the cafe where he used to sit quietly with a book while she scrolled through her phone. He was already there. Alone, she didn't sit. "What did you do?" she demanded. Ethan closed his book. "Nothing you didn't agree to," he said calmly. She laughed bitterly. "You're ruining me." He looked up at her. "No," he said. "I stopped protecting you." That was the moment she understood. Not everything, but enough. "You planned this," she said quietly. Ethan considered the question. "I planned to be ready," he replied. She leaned closer. "You could have warned me." He met her eyes. "You never listened." That night, Vanessa lay awake scrolling through messages that grew colder by the hour. People who once praised her ambition now spoke carefully. Some didn't reply at all. She tried to sleep. She couldn't, because for the first time, she felt it. That strange, creeping sensation of standing on something hollow, and realizing too late that the person who built the floor had already stepped away. Vanessa didn't sleep that night. By morning, she wasn't angry anymore. She was focused. Anger wasted energy. Focus sharpened it. If Ethan wanted a war, she would give him one, public, loud, and unforgiving. Her PR consultant arrived before noon. A woman who specialized in damage control and reputation reframing. Vanessa didn't offer coffee. "They're turning on me," Vanessa said. "I need to get ahead of this." The consultant nodded slowly. "You already are behind it," she replied. "But not beyond recovery." The strategy was simple. Frame Ethan as controlling. Suggest financial manipulation. Emphasize emotional neglect. Not lies, just interpretations. By afternoon, the first article appeared. Sources close to the divorce describe a pattern of emotional isolation and financial secrecy. Vanessa read it twice, then smiled. This was familiar territory. She posted nothing. Silence suggested dignity, but others spoke for her. Friends, anonymous sources, well-placed whispers. The narrative began to form. Ethan saw everything. He didn't respond. Not once. No statements. No denials. Just quiet. That unnerved Vanessa more than outrage ever could, because silence from someone with nothing to hide feels defensive. Silence from someone with everything documented feels lethal. 3 days later, Ethan's lawyer requested an emergency hearing. Vanessa laughed when she heard. "Desperate," she said. She was wrong. The courtroom was smaller this time. No press. No audience. Just law. The judge adjusted his glasses. "We are here to address a violation of contractual obligation," he said. Vanessa stiffened. "What obligation?" she asked sharply. Ethan's lawyer stood. "The non-disparagement clause," he said. Vanessa's stomach dropped. She remembered it vaguely. Buried deep in a premarital agreement she'd skimmed years ago. A clause that prohibited public statements that could damage either party's financial interests, including indirect statements, including third-party narratives, including anonymous sourcing. "That's absurd," Vanessa snapped. "I never said anything." Ethan's lawyer smiled politely. "And yet," he said, "the statements align precisely with talking points circulated from Ms. Cole's PR agency." He handed the judge a folder. Inside, email timestamps, strategy memos, payment records. The room went silent. Vanessa turned to her lawyer. He didn't meet her eyes. The judge spoke calmly. "The court finds Ms. Cole in breach of contract." Vanessa stood. "You can't." "Sit down," the judge said sharply. The ruling was swift. Financial penalties. Immediate gag order. Forfeiture of certain marital considerations. Not half. Not most. All leverage. As they exited, Vanessa finally broke. "You set me up," she hissed. Ethan stopped walking. "No," he said quietly. "I waited for you to be yourself." That night, Vanessa's phone went silent. Not because people were angry, because they were careful. And careful people don't associate with liabilities. Ethan returned home alone. He poured a glass of water. Not wine. He didn't feel victorious. He felt finished. The story broke without Ethan's name attached to it. No interview. No quote. By evening, social media caught up. Not outrage. Curiosity. Vanessa watched it unfold from her apartment, scrolling through posts that never mentioned her directly, but circled closer with every refresh. She recognized the pattern. This wasn't scandal journalism. This was financial journalism. And it was infinitely more dangerous. Her phone buzzed. A former collaborator. "We need to talk." She called back immediately. No answer. Then another message. "I can't be associated with this right now." Associated with what? No one had accused her of anything. Which was the problem? She tried to respond publicly. A simple post. Measured. Calm. It never went up. Her lawyer called instead. "You're under a temporary advisory," he said. "Anything you say right now could be interpreted as an attempt to influence ongoing matters." Vanessa closed her eyes. "So I just disappear?" "For now," he said. "That would be wise." Ethan read the same articles. He closed them without emotion. This wasn't exposure. It was confirmation. People weren't learning something new. They were realizing what had been quietly true all along. Vanessa requested a private meeting. No lawyers. No mediators. Just coffee. Ethan agreed. Not because he was curious. Because he was finished hiding. They met in the same cafe. The table felt smaller now. Vanessa arrived early. She looked tired. Not disheveled, but compressed. As if something heavy had been resting on her shoulders for too long. "You win," she said the moment he sat down. Ethan didn't respond. I underestimated you, she continued. I thought you were passive. Ethan folded his hands. I was, he said. Until I didn't need to be. She leaned forward. Call them off, she said quietly. Whatever this is, call it off. Ethan looked at her. There is no this, he replied. Just consequences. She shook her head. You're enjoying this. No, he said calmly. I'm watching it end. She reached across the table. Please, she said. It was the first time he'd ever heard that word from her. Ethan stood. You already signed everything, he said. I'm not doing anything to you. She whispered his name. He paused. You asked once, he said. So I'll answer once. He met her eyes. The moment you laughed in that courtroom, he continued. You told me exactly how you saw me. She opened her mouth. He didn't wait. And once someone shows you that, he finished, you stop protecting them. He left first. Vanessa stayed seated. The cafe hummed around her, unaware that something had just ended. Not loudly, but permanently. The final hearing was scheduled quietly. No press release. No spectacle. Just a date on a docket that most people would scroll past without stopping. Vanessa arrived alone. No stylist. No entourage. Her lawyer met her at the door, speaking in low tones, careful with every word, as if the building itself were listening. Ethan arrived exactly on time. Alone. As always. The judge didn't waste time. This court has reviewed all disclosures, violations, and subsequent financial consequences, he said. The matter before us is no longer contested. Vanessa sat very still. Her hands were folded tightly in her lap. The ruling came in fragments. Clinical. Precise. No spousal support. No claim on private holdings. Penalties enforced. Confidentiality extended indefinitely. Each line removed something Vanessa had once assumed was guaranteed. The judge paused. Ms. Cole, he said, this court advises you to consider this matter concluded. Not resolved. Concluded. Vanessa looked up. At Ethan. For a moment, she expected something. A glance. A reaction. There was none. He wasn't watching her. He was already somewhere else. The gavel fell. That was it. No applause. No vindication. Just paperwork. Outside the courthouse, the air felt thinner. Vanessa stood at the top of the steps, unsure where to go next. People passed her without recognition. She had once mistaken visibility for importance. Now she had neither. Months passed. Quietly. Ethan sold nothing. Bought nothing. He didn't capitalize on the attention because there was none. That was the point. Power, in its purest form, leaves no shadow. Reynolds Tech collapsed later that year. Not dramatically, just slowly. A missed payment. A delayed filing. A restructuring notice no one bothered to read. Ethan never commented. He never needed to. Vanessa moved. Not far. Just far enough. She tried to rebuild something resembling a public presence. Smaller. Careful. People were polite. But politeness is not trust. One evening, months later, Ethan sat alone at the same cafe. Same table. Same chair. The book in front of him remained unopened. A waiter approached. Still water, he asked. Ethan nodded. Across the room, a conversation drifted. Someone was laughing. Not loudly. Not cruelly. Just freely. Ethan listened for a moment, then returned to his silence. Because this was never about revenge. It was about alignment. About allowing people to experience the world they create. Without interference. Some stories end with justice. Some end with forgiveness. This one ended with clarity. And clarity, once reached, doesn't ask for witnesses. It simply remains.